The atmosphere outside the Orpheum Theater in Los Angeles was electric. Paparazzi lined the velvet ropes as stars from across the television world paraded into the Dorian TV Awards. Known for their irreverent tone and celebration of LGBTQ+ creatives, the Dorians were less about royal etiquette and more about fabulous flair. But this year, all eyes were on one unlikely guest, Prince Harry. It wasn't just that Harry was attending, it was that he'd agreed to present a major award. Speculation swirled that this was part of a new chapter for the Duke of Sussex, one designed to bridge his activism and celebrity presence. He arrived sharply dressed in a tailored black tuxedo, his signature red hair styled immaculately, and a guarded but confident smile on his face. But even before he stepped out of the SUV, murmurs of backstage tension were already surfacing. According to a well-placed insider, Harry's team had exchanged several emails with the Dorian Awards producers days prior, making one point abundantly clear: he was to be introduced on stage as Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. The producers, renowned for their disdain for royal pomp, allegedly hesitated. "We don't do, your highnesses, here," one of them reportedly quipped in a team meeting. "This is the Dorians, not Buckingham Palace." Harry, unaware of the pushback, arrived ready to take the stage with dignity. He was led through the side entrance, flanked by 2 aides and a security detail. Inside the green room, he exchanged stiff pleasantries with a few celebrities but remained mostly quiet, eyes occasionally flicking toward the overhead monitor that showed the ongoing ceremony. When a staffer brought him a branded bottle of sparkling water, he politely declined, instead sipping from his own. He was scheduled to present the award for Most Dazzling Ensemble in a Drama Series. Just minutes before going on stage, his assistant whispered something into his ear. His expression darkened instantly. "They're not using the title," the assistant said carefully, holding up her phone. "The script's just been locked. It says, Harry Windsor." There was a long pause. "You're joking," he replied, his voice low. She shook her head. "I double-checked with production. They say it's part of their policy, no formal titles for any presenter." Harry stood still, his jaw tightening, hands folding and unfolding at his sides. "That wasn't the agreement," he muttered. A few crew members nearby grew quiet, sensing the tension like a thunderstorm gathering over a calm sea. A producer attempted to smooth things over, walking up to Harry with a strained smile. "It's not meant to be disrespectful," she offered. "We just try to keep things informal. Everyone's on a first-name basis here. Even Dame Judy was just Judy when she came last year." But Harry wasn't hearing it. "This isn't just about formality. It's who I am," he said sharply. "You don't get to erase that just because it doesn't fit your theme." Seconds later, the announcer's voice boomed from the stage. "Please welcome, Harry Windsor." It was the final straw. The camera cut to him as he walked out from behind the curtain, but those watching closely could see it. The tension in his shoulders, the faint twitch of his jaw, the way his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. "Good evening," he began. "I thought I had a title, but apparently tonight, I'm just Harry." A few laughs trickled through the crowd, uncertain and awkward. He proceeded with the award, his voice composed but cold. And as soon as the applause for the winners began, Harry turned on his heel and left the stage, walking briskly through the wings, past startled assistants, and straight out the side exit into the night. But the drama had only just begun. Outside the Orpheum Theater, cameras flashed wildly as Prince Harry exited through the back entrance, ignoring calls from reporters and staff alike. His polished shoes clicked sharply against the pavement as he strode toward his waiting SUV. The door slammed behind him with a force that echoed in the alleyway, and just like that, the Duke of Sussex was gone, leaving chaos in his wake. Inside the theater, murmurs buzzed through the audience. Whispers turned into tweets, tweets turned into trending hashtags, and within 20 minutes, #Harry storms out hit the top of X's global trending list. A clip of Harry's icy line, "I thought I had a title," was already being turned into memes, GIFs, and heated debate segments across every social media platform. Dorian producers scrambled backstage, some flustered, some annoyed. One was overheard saying, "What did he expect? We call RuPaul just Ru. It's part of the brand." But others weren't so sure. The abruptness of Harry's departure, and the media frenzy already brewing, had turned what was supposed to be a lighthearted, inclusive awards show into the center of a royal PR disaster. By morning, major entertainment outlets had picked up the story. Entertainment Tonight ran with, "Prince Harry snubbed at awards show, storms out over title drama." TMZ posted grainy footage of him snapping at a producer near the exit, his voice sharp, "You agreed to it. You agreed." And in the UK, tabloids had a field day. Spare throws a royal tantrum, one headline screamed, while another mocked, "No crown, no calm." Back in Montecito, Harry was reportedly fuming. According to insiders, he spent the evening in a spiral of frustration, angry not just at the Dorians, but at himself. He knew going in they weren't traditional, one source revealed. But he thought they'd make an exception. He thought this would be a step forward. Meghan, who had skipped the event entirely to avoid overshadowing her husband's moment, was less forgiving. "They humiliated him," she reportedly told a friend. "And they did it knowing exactly what kind of reaction it would provoke. This wasn't accidental, it was performative." While she kept a calm public face, spotted the next day leaving an organic market in her signature sunglasses and beige trench coat, privately, she was already discussing damage control with their team. Phone calls were made to PR consultants. A planned appearance by Harry on a late-night talk show was quietly cancelled. Meanwhile, public reaction remained split. Some sympathized with Harry, arguing that no one deserves to have their identity diminished in front of a live audience. "He's still a prince whether he's working royal or not," one fan posted on Instagram. "That title isn't a costume he can take off." But others criticized his reaction as tone-deaf. "You moved to America to be just Harry," one viral post said. "So why throw a fit when people treat you that way?" Even celebrities chimed in. Billy Eichner, who had hosted a portion of the Dorians earlier in the evening, tweeted. As the SUV carrying Prince Harry pulled away from the Orpheum Theatre, silence filled the car. His assistant sat tensely beside him, eyes fixed on her phone, reading updates in real time. Social media was already exploding. Harry stared out the window, fists clenched, face hard with frustration. "This is exactly what I didn't want to happen," he muttered. Moments earlier, just before his dramatic exit, the tension had reached a boiling point backstage. After stepping off the stage to a cold, half-hearted round of applause, Harry had walked directly into the wings where a producer was waiting, clipboard in hand, headset askew, trying to appear unfazed. Cameras were still rolling elsewhere, but a few photographers had slipped behind the scenes, trailing the commotion like bloodhounds. "You knew how I wanted to be introduced," Harry hissed, stepping toward the producer with controlled fury. "You had it in writing." The producer, clearly caught off guard, tried to reason with him. "We made a last-minute decision," she explained, her voice tight. "It wasn't personal, just in line with how we handle all our guests." Harry's voice rose, though he didn't shout. "Do you realize how that looks? How calculated that feels? You stripped my identity in front of an international audience, for a punchline." The assistant, sensing things were escalating, stepped between them. "We need to go," she said quickly. "Now." Harry turned away without another word, brushing past a cameraman who'd caught the entire scene. By the time he reached the alley exit, he was already trending online. Inside the car, Harry's phone buzzed again and again. Messages from friends, staff, and even a few estranged royal relatives. One from his cousin Eugenie simply read, "Yikes, call me." The assistant hesitated, then finally said what had to be said. "There's already footage of the confrontation backstage. It's everywhere, Harry." He leaned his head back against the seat, eyes closed, breathing heavily through his nose. "Unbelievable," he muttered. "I walked into a trap." His mind flashed back to that moment on stage. The fake smile, the awkward laugh from the crowd, the way even his attempt at sarcasm, "I thought I had a title," landed with a thud. No grace, no recognition. Just a cold, quiet dismissal. He had agreed to attend the Dorian Awards as a show of support, for causes he believed in, for his public work, and yes, as a subtle rebranding move. Meghan had cautioned him. "You're putting yourself in their hands," she'd warned. "Make sure they know exactly what you stand for." He thought he had. Instead, he walked straight into a headline. Back at the venue, producers scrambled to manage the narrative. One of them, visibly rattled, turned to a PA. "Cut the backstage feed. Lock down all unused footage. We don't need this becoming a PR nightmare." But it was far too late. By the time the afterparty began, guests were already gossiping. Someone had even printed a makeshift name badge that said, "Just Harry," and slapped it on a champagne bottle. Laughter echoed down the hallways, nervous, sharp-edged laughter. In the following hours, news programs dissected every second of Harry's appearance. Royal biographers were already being booked for breakfast shows. Old clips of Harry insisting he wanted to be normal resurfaced, spliced next to the footage of him storming out over his formal title. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Back in Montecito later that night, Harry sat alone in the study, phone dark on the desk, headlines swimming in his mind. No matter how far he tried to step from the palace, it seemed the world, and its labels, were never quite ready to let him be either a prince or a person. And that truth cut deeper than the title ever could.